Well, viewers, those are the headlines and our top focus. According to reports, China has launched a nationwide campaign to identify and eliminate fire hazards in high-rise buildings. The move comes in the wake of a devastating blaze in Hong Kong that killed at least 128 people and sent shockwaves through a metropolis known for its dense clusters of towering residential blocks. Reports suggest almost 150 people are still missing. Reportedly, the State Council Work Safety Committee has recently issued a notice ordering an extensive inspection and rectification drive targeting major fire risks in tall buildings. Authorities will review the use of flammable or combustible materials and scrutinize construction practices as well, including the use of bamboo scaffolding and non-flame retardant safety nets. The directive urges local governments to strengthen oversight, assume full responsibility for fire safety management and prioritize the identification and remediation of high-risk structures. With us on the broadcast is Mr. Roger Liu, International Relations Researcher, joining us from Taipei. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. We're now learning that China has launched a campaign to identify and eliminate fire hazards in high-rise buildings. This, of course, comes in the aftermath of the tragedy in which 128 people lost their lives in Hong Kong. What can you tell our viewers about these hazards? How is it that they ensure that these blaze gets exacerbated and how their risk can then be reduced?
Well, I will say that this actually is the most lethal or deadly incidents that has ever taken place in the history of Hong Kong. And that actually people inevitably will blame this to the governance of the current Hong Kong government and the Chinese government as well. So that actually has reflected that Hong Kong's housing problem has been a long time issue, that people are forced to live in a very condensed place and they have to pay very high rents to live in very poor places. And this, it reflects that Hong Kong needs to be further incorporated and into the Great Bay Area city plans that China has launched. So I think this will be a problem that they will have to consider for the future.
Indeed, and we're also getting further developments. Hong Kong's anti-corruption agency, in fact, stated that it arrested 11 people connected to the renovation of the high-rise apartments where the blaze ended up claiming more than 100 lives. There are still about 200 people who are still missing. I wanted to understand from you, is corruption really prevalent in the sector? To what degree, if so? And does this then have a direct connection to the fire, or are we seeing this turn into some sort of a blame game?
Well, of course, China has to find some scapegoats to, to show its accountability responsibilities to the Hong Kong citizens. Well, ICAC, which is a watchdog being set up during the British colonial age, has played a very important role in combating the systemic corruption in the Hong Kong government. But they have not used it for a long time because, after Hong Kong's return back to China, China has been proud of its, governance of Hong Kong. But now they have to find out some people responsible for this incident. So, it's not surprising they will try to initiate this kind of mechanisms.
Absolutely. This has been a wake-up call for the Chinese government. But last but not the least, in your assessment, how could stricter scrutiny of the materials, the construction practices as well, impact the manner in which contractors operate? Because what is truly important is the fact that this short-term exercise ensures long-term compliance as well.
Yeah, well, what happens now actually is can raise an alarm, because this set of residents actually is a new project. It's not a very old ones that people have been seeing on movies or having existed for decades. So that actually reflects a deeper problem that the laws and regulations regarding this kind of fire has to be revised. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the Chinese government will try its best to prevent this to become a political event because they are so afraid that some people will be using that to kind of combat or to damage their capacity to rule over Hong Kong. And this will be a political problem for the Chinese government. So they will have to be very careful about this.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, of course, sharing your perspectives and providing insight to our viewers. On that note, we're shifting focus away from the aftermath of the